My grandpa taught me about buck knives and shotguns, how to cast an old zip code, how to work a stick shift.
Welcome back to another episode of Podward State. I'm Grace Cunningham.
My name is Sam Brungo.
Today we talked to King of Delco, John Harrar. Actually, we didn't. It was Will, Connor, and Keeley.
Yeah,
It was
a
a
different group.
a little mix-up.
But shout out to Will, Connor, and Keeley.
Yay!
Yeah.
Wait, that was funny when you cheered for his major.
And then he thought
He was
that
like, "Whoa, you!"
He was like, "Yo, you're a
molar?
random major."
He said
like,
a molar.
And I was like, "Oh no, I was just clapping because
We're
like
just so happy for you.
You're getting your master's. Like that's cool." Anyways, shout out. He shouted out, I think, every single person he's ever met in his life. Like everyone he talked about, he was just like, shout out, I love them.
That's nice.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
He was so cool. Quick shout out to my friend Max Benner for setting it up.
I liked when he talked about his mom. But we should have FaceTimed her.
Yeah.
Mom pod.
I feel like, yeah.
That'd be weird,
It
but
would have been. We would have been like, oh, hello,
hey,
Mrs.
we're
I don't
just
even know
like
how to
some
say his
people.
last name. Is it Harrar or Harrar? Harrar.
No, I don't
You
think
guys
the R.
both
I
just
think
said
the
it
R is
differently, though.
the R is like silent, right?
Harrar.
It's actually hair or.
Harrar.
Yeah, and then you fill in the blank with like the other option. Hair or bald.
John Harrar. Except maybe it's actually like pronounced Harrar with an R there, but he just like with his Delco thing just like can't say the second R. That's how it is. I used to couldn't say my R's or my S's.
Ugh.
So my name, I would
That's
be
awful.
like, hi, my name is Samuel Brungo.
Wait,
Brungo.
like
Samuel Brungo?
like it would be like a W
Brungo?
instead.
Brungo. But I also had I had polyps, so I couldn't like really polyps in my throat, so I couldn't really like speak well.
What does that mean?
I talk like this. I have a hoarse voice.
I don't know what that means.
Polyps are like picture like a tube. They're like bumps.
Oh.
It's like when you're I don't know what it comes from, but like I had polyps. I used to go see like a speech therapist every day or like 3 days a week in have you heard this story? 3 days a week I used to have to take my yellow folder down and see the speech therapist in the office.
Aw. Wait,
Yeah.
like you had to leave school?
No, I had to go to and then this part of the story. So I would go down, and then one day I was like asking my friends about it. I was like, yeah, like when do you guys take your yellow folder down to the thing? And they were like, oh, we don't do that. And I was like, oh, what do you guys do when I do that? Recess.
Aw.
I miss recess 3 days a week. I thought they only did it the other two.
You thought recess was like twice a week?
Like, yeah.
Aw.
But
That's
now I
sad.
can say my R's.
That's good.
And I don't have, well, I might still have polyps, but I don't have like a hoarse voice. I used to be like, hi, my name's Samuel Brungo. There's like little videos of me. I sounded like the Demogorgon.
Oh, I used to go to speech, but I think I like could speak the whole time. But one time I was wearing a shirt that had words on it, and the speech therapist was like, what does your shirt say? And I was like, I don't know, because I couldn't read.
Do you know what the words were?
It was like a story. It's like Once Upon a Time or something.
Oh, cool.
Actually, another story. This like kind of ties in because it's basketball related, like kind of. When I was little, I was probably like 3, and I went. Have I told this before? I don't know. But I went to this like YMCA basketball clinic with my older brother, and it was like a clinic for like 5-year-old boys. My parents were like, like you just go too, even though I was like a 3-year-old girl, because they just also wanted to get rid of me. And I was wearing this shirt that had like people on it, but they were like 3D kind of, and they had like yarn hair. And the guy running the basketball thing was like, okay, like the first rule of basketball is that people with people on their shirts get punched in the face. And I was like 3. I was terrified. And I didn't tell my mom.
What?
Yeah, I didn't tell my mom until like a few years ago. And she was like, what the hell? Like, you should have told me that. But I was just like scared.
We're going to get into some headlines with... Who's doing the headlines?
Grace
Shannon
and Shannon.
Grace and Grace is
Stutzman,
already
Jordy.
here. We're already
Yeah,
talking.
but okay,
with
Shannon is gonna join me and then we're going to do headlines with Jordy and Stats.
Okay. And then we'll get into our conversation with John Harrar.
Yippee. Now we're going to get into some headlines. I have Shannon Smith joining me to host headlines. How are you, Shannon?
Good, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
I like that we're sitting
I know,
so
we're
close.
sitting so close to each other right now. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Shannon and I, you guys can't see, but we're holding hands.
Yep. Underneath that.
How are you?
I'm great. Grace, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
How's your Monday?
It's Tuesday.
I know, but how was your Monday yesterday?
My Monday was good.
That's good. How was your Tuesday?
It was also good.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Were yours good?
They were?
That's awesome. I'm really happy for
Are you going to country night tonight?
Oh,
I
yeah.
was planning to, but I've heard from multiple sources that the line's already around the corner.
Ooh.
Oh.
Might be a first night.
Okay.
Might be a first night.
All right,
Do
cool.
your thing, King.
So Penn State's dropping the indoor mask mandate starting on Wednesday, March 23rd. Masks won't be required in most classrooms, labs, or other academic spaces. Over spring break, Penn State removed masking requirements for indoor spaces like dorms, dining halls, on-campus gyms, marketplaces, sporting events, and classrooms used for extracurricular activities. Masks will still be required where mandated by law, including particular workplaces, public transportation services, or healthcare settings. Penn State said masking will also remain needed in some in-person human subject research labs and for its College of Medicine to support patient care.
Yippee. But
Yeah.
Allegedly,
Shannon.
professors are allowed to say that they are overriding the rule and that they are requiring masks
I think
because
that's actually true. I
yeah,
like it, though.
because one of my professors is requiring masks. So
Mine was almost the opposite. Like, whenever they got rid of, like, we didn't have to wear it in the hallways, he was like, I legitimately
Yeah,
don't
well, it
care.
just doesn't
no,
make
all of
sense.
mine didn't. All of mine were like, all right, well, because they said that, you still have to wear them in here. So I don't know. But
COVID disappears in the
Do-
hallways.
it is what it is. In the hub, it doesn't exist though at the
It only
moment. I
mutates
guess.
in classrooms because it's in there learning.
It didn't exist in Beaver State.
Oh yeah, it gets
Yeah.
too smart.
It's in there. It gets too
You
smart.
can't-
and then
you
it's
can't
like, oh,
educate-
The noise of Beaver Stadium actually canceled out
Yeah.
the coronavirus. So
Yeah.
it's
You
totally
can't-
That
fine.
means in the BJC, like, it's, like, rapidly, like, evolving. Happy Valley might get a little happier this summer when comedian Tom Segura performs at the Bryce Jordan Center. Segura will bring his I'm Coming Everywhere tour to the BJC on Thursday, August 25th. His show is set to begin at 7 p.m. Ticket sales for Segura's comedy will set launch at 10 a.m. on Friday, March 25th.
Are you-
And
you
do
gonna
either
be
of
in
you know
line?
who Tom Segura is?
No.
Okay, so he
What's the
runs,
name of his tour?
It's called I'm Coming Everywhere. But he runs the best, like, funniest podcast in the world with Bert Kreischer, and it's called Two Bears, One Cave. And, like, it is the funniest thing ever.
All right, next.
Now we have Hailey Stutzman joining us. Hailey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. Okay. So, following a long closure, Findlay Commons staple Flips is back. On March
Back.
20th, the grill opened back up to serve East Hall's residents. Flips closed last September, likely due to staffing shortages still affecting Penn State dining halls, and hadn't reopened until this weekend.
Yippee.
Well, so I am an East Hall's resident. First of all, I hate Flips. I think it's like actually.
Wait, did you have it
disgusting.
for the first time like yesterday?
No, I had it in September.
Oh.
And like I thought it was like the grossest thing I've ever had. Yeah, so I hate Flips. Have you guys ever had it?
I love flips.
I never had Flips because I lived in Pollock.
Okay.
Okay.
Vic, shout out Vic. He pre-ordered flips for the day that it opened so that he could like have it.
Really?
Yeah, people in
Yes.
my building did that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
next.
beautiful.
Next.
Mackenzie Bronk.
The Penn State Blue Band has officially announced Mackenzie Brunk as its new featured twirler, Blue Sapphire, for the 2022-23 season. After the upcoming graduation of Jillian Brooks, Bronk will fill the role as the band's 17th Blue Sapphire. Hailing from Northern High School in Owings, Maryland, Bronk is a former Miss Majorette of America and Grand National Twirling Champion.
Bronk.
I'm so excited. I hope she can light her batons on fire and twirl them too.
I know. I mean, if she was a former Miss Majorette, she sounds good.
I know. I'm very
Everyone
excited.
loves Jillian, so she has some big shoes to fill.
R.I.P. DZ Legend.
Yeah, DZ Legend.
She was in
DZ.
Yes.
She still
Yes.
is. DZ Legend.
She's my
Jillian
sister.
Brooks.
Just weeks after Thon Weekend wrapped up, the organization already had its sights set on next year's fundraiser. So to kick things off, Thon named Lily Pavoto its executive director for Thon 2023. Pavoto, a rising senior who's enrolled in Penn State's Integrated Master of Accounting program, served as Thon 2022's communications director. She previously worked as a supply logistics captain for Thon 2022 and as a rules and reg committee for Thon 2019.
Congratulations, Lily.
Yay!
Good for her. Yippee.
My toe is still numb from Thon, if anyone's wondering. And I think I have to get a nerve analysis test done on my foot, so I'm very excited.
Now we're going to get into our conversation with John Harrar.
All right, joining us now, we have former Penn State men's hoops forward and informally known as the King of Delco, John Harrar. John, thanks for joining Podward State. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys. My mom appreciates your work, by the way. She's probably read every article you ever wrote about Penn State basketball. So
That's awesome.
She knows your names and everything. She appreciates what you guys do, though, for sure.
Shout out Mrs. Harrar.
Shout out.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so to kick things off, we're going to touch a little bit about your recruiting journey. So in the spring of your senior year, you committed to Army as a football player originally, as a tight end. What was that process like, and what kind of led to your change of heart and wanting to play basketball instead?
Yeah, start off like in high school, I never really took sports that serious. Like I didn't know all the commitment and sacrifice it took. I mean, whether it's sports or business or whatever you want to do, like you got to commit to be at the level that you want to be at. So I kind of, sophomore year, I met someone in my Spanish class. He was a football captain, and he was just like, hey, why don't you come and lift with us in the mornings? I was like 6'6" at the time, and he was like, he always said big for nothing. He's like, you're big for nothing. Like, what are you doing right now? Like, you're like just hanging out with your friends. Like, come play football. I always played basketball, but it never really took it that serious. And then I started getting in the weight room with him. And my football coach is just really well connected. Dan Connor, Penn State legend, he was his first state championship team. Dan actually went to my high school. So he's just well connected. He knows everyone, so he could reach out to these schools and be like, I have a kid who could play football for you guys. So that's kind of how I got into it. And then senior year, I kind of just knew I always loved basketball. I started applying my work ethic that I approached football with to basketball, and got lucky enough for Coach Chambers to invite me up here for a tryout. And then after that, he offered me, and the next day I accepted, and been a Penn Stater ever since.
That's awesome.
Did you ever consider playing football and basketball at Penn State?
No, I always said, I think for my time here, it was Micah Shrewsberry and Pat Fryermuth who were the tight ends. And I always said those guys got it under control. Like, I was not a good football player. I'll be the first to admit that. I could not compete with those two to go play tight end for a top 5 football program ever. So they had it under control. Everyone talks to me about it, like, oh, what if you played football? But I'm happy with my decision. I don't know. If it comes up, then it comes up. I don't know. But right now, I want to keep playing basketball for as long as I can.
Definitely.
Did you ever talk to James about it or no? James Franklin? Like, did it ever come up?
I think people did for me, but I never had a one-on-one conversation with them. I remember at the NIT run we had freshman year, he came to New York and he like said hello to everyone and was like, oh, you're big kid. But no, nothing, not a one-on-one conversation with him.
Got it. So that's the perfect segue. I want to ask you about that, kind of that NIT year and that first year, obviously, you know, playing with guys like Lamar Stevens, Mike Watkins, and Tony Carr was kind of the leader of that team. And even you kind of stepped into a bigger role when Mike got hurt at one point. What was that first year like overall, and kind of your introduction to Penn State basketball?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So you said introduction to Penn State basketball. Just like anyone else in PA, no one knows Penn State basketball, right? Like, they just don't. Growing up, it was Nova for me. Mostly, I feel like it's ran by Nova, the basketball program. Everyone knows Penn State football, though. Yeah, that freshman year I knew what I was getting myself into. I was coming into, at the center position, I think it was a 24-year-old, a 23-year-old, and another 23-year-old. And they all played college basketball before at a high level. and I was 18 at the time. I was 17 the first day I stepped on the campus, so everyone was like, maybe it's a redshirt year for you, like develop. In practice, I would get demolished. I could not compete at all. Could barely make like a layup when they contested. Like it was an adjustment period for me. And then it's just, like I said before, I didn't know the commitment, but once I kind of started seeing it around, like I would see Tony Carr work out every day. I could see Lamar Stevens working out every day, so I just followed their lead and kind of started putting in the work, trying to be my best self. And then, unfortunately, Mike goes down, and I get the chance. Coach kind of throws me in there, and ended up working out great. NIT run probably, now that I'm all done, probably my favorite month of basketball I ever played. It was awesome. Everyone likes winning.
Yeah, wasn't that was Kuzma on that Utah team? Kyle Kuzma, wasn't he?
No, I think it was a year.
Oh, got it. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Still though, that was a fun year.
It was awesome.
Yeah, so as a sophomore, you kind of had an increased role, played 16 minutes a game. You guys had a tougher season. You went 4-18, but you picked up 2 ranked wins over number 6 Michigan and number 19 Maryland. And in your career, you have 13 ranked wins as a Nittany Lion. So what were those ranked wins like, and what was the Michigan court storm like during that season?
It was awesome. Again, I go back to Penn State basketball. I represent it, but I'm not on the team. Like the BJC, when we had people in there, it was fun. It was a celebration, but it was hard to bring people. If you don't win at Penn State basketball, you don't get the people. So to have those ranked wins, you can bring up Michigan State this year. To have those ranked wins in front of the people that stick through it after we lose maybe 3 home games in a row and they come back for the 4th, to celebrate with those people, it means a lot. Like I just developing those relationships, I think, is why I fell in love with this place. Like I can name, like, how do I put it? Like these Facebook super fans. Like if you go on the Facebook page, it's like Kim's a super fan. Like I know him personally. I got to meet him personally just from being around, just celebrating with them. And the Legion of Blue, like they've been awesome. And then everyone else, anyone that supports Penn State as a whole, like just that's what it's for. That's what those court storms are. Those ranked wins. That's what it's all for.
So then COVID hits as you're on your way to a potential NCAA tournament bid. How bummed were you to miss out on the big dance after a 22-10 season?
Yeah, that was a odd time for everyone. I'm sure everyone in this room had something going on that they thought they were going to be a part of within the next week. Really odd time. I can remember asking my GA manager who worked me out. COVID hit, they sent everyone home. No one knew what it was really, but I can remember like, oh, let's get in the gym, and in a week we're probably going to be playing March Madness, so like, let's just keep working out. Like I want to be ready. No idea. Like I just thought we were going to keep playing. And then it did hit, and I go back to my senior yearbook quote, in every crisis, there's an opportunity. So I kind of just took those 4 months as like an opportunity to be home, spend time with my mom, try to work out, try to become a better version of myself. There's really nothing I could do. I can remember the only time I left my house was to go outside. Like I didn't see friends, family for like 3 months. So it was a weird time for everyone, but go back to that quote every time. There's always an opportunity out there for you to do something or to get better.
Not to harp on COVID too much, but I remember Pat talked about it a lot, like kind of the moment you were in Indianapolis, right, for the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah.
Do you remember what that moment was like, and kind of like how long did it take? Because you talked about being home for 3 months, like how did because you guys were going to the tournament, like how did processing that, like what was that kind of like?
Yeah, I would say we had our best practices ever since I've been at Penn State. Me and Miles Dread talk about it all the time. We had our best practices ever. The 3 days leading up to we were going to play Indiana at the Big Ten tournament. I mean, like the juice and the practices, the competitiveness, the we're about to go in here and whoop somebody, like that feeling going into the Big Ten tournament. So it's definitely like a bummer and all, but I don't know. It worked out. I know Lamar's record, and now he guarded LeBron James last night, and I watched it. Like it was awesome. I'm glad it worked out for him, and and the rest of the seniors.
So, and then through all that, kind of Pat Chambers led you through that. What was, in the time you did get with Pat, what was kind of your relationship like with him, just as the guy who recruited you and as, getting to spend time with him as your coach?
Yeah, he, I call him Pops, like as a joke, but like he's been a father figure for me. I'm so happy he got another job. I told him, like, you're not supposed to do anything else except like inspire young men, and you do that by on the basketball court. So that's where he's comfortable. That's where he should be. He should keep changing people's lives on the basketball court. But I mean, I couldn't ask for a better leader and someone to guide me and to be a mentor. I remember that sophomore year that you brought up earlier. I was playing the worst basketball. I had no confidence. It's like sad. Had like awful habits, like you name it. I was just not doing well. And he brought me out to lunch after the season, and he was just like, he shared with me a quote. Obviously, he taught like people's person, how's the family, all that stuff. But then he shares a quote with me that I wrote on my wall and I never forget. It's the quality of your habits determine the quality of your life. And that just has stuck with me ever since the day he said it. That mentorship and that like repetitive, brought it up every day, really changed my life and changed the direction that I was headed in.
Yeah, man. When he came on, we were just telling you before we started recording. He came on last season. He dropped some great quotes. The best one was, "What's the plan when you get stabbed?" Because he told us a story, not to make light of it, but he told us a story of how that kind of changed his life, which was pretty crazy. So pretty impressive dude, no doubt.
He's the best.
Yeah. So not to put you on the spot too much, but obviously after COVID happens, Pat ends up stepping down and all that kind of went down. Do you remember like what the process was like of you guys finding out about it, and what was the feeling around the team when all that kind of went down?
Yeah, we kind of had like a feeling. I don't know. It is what it is. The situation's so sensitive, and I'm kind of past it now, but it was unfortunate. But the type of leader he is he builds other leaders. So he was there for us when we needed him, but after he went, like his leadership shined through that program, I think, for the whole year, through us, through his assistants. It is what it is, and I'm happy. I'm about to go buy my Florida Gulf Coast shirt.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Dunk
if you guys want one, let me know.
I was wearing one on the last episode.
Let's go. Yeah, so it is what it is. I'm happy Coach Shrews obviously here. I think he's going to change the program around, and I don't know, maybe get some excitement around some Penn State hoops. Maybe the kid growing up in Delco right now will be like, oh, Penn State basketball game. Do you guys watch Mayor of Easttown or Eastville?
My parents did.
You seen it?
Yeah.
So it's based in Delco, right?
Yeah.
They actually filmed it behind my high school teacher's house. So like it was like right next to me where I live. But there was a scene where they put on a game, like it was in the living room, and they had the TV show and put on a game. And it was a Penn State basketball game, like Taylor Battle era, like it was just real old.
Yeah. And
people on Twitter were like, "Why would they? This is Delco. Why would there be a Penn State basketball like game on? Like this is Villanova or whatever." So yeah, maybe we can switch it around. Have some Penn State basketball on.
So you grew up with a ton of Nova fans, I'm assuming?
Yeah, for sure. Dwayne Anderson, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, former assistant.
Yeah. I have his signature from the summer camp that he was a player. Just small world, but I went home after my freshman year and was cleaning up, and I saw this Nova thing that I went to all the summer camps, basketball camps, and I saw it, and I see Dwayne Anderson. I'm like, this is small world.
Yeah, it's funny you say that actually, because I grew up coming to Penn State basketball camp.
Okay.
And Dwayne was like one of the main coaches, so I probably have a signature from him from Penn State. So that's kind of full circle.
Let's go.
Yeah. So kind of before we move on to Shrews, you played that season after Chambers with Jim Ferry, and he kind of seemed like a hard-nosed, gritty Pat Chambers type of guy. What was it like playing for him, and how did he kind of help the program navigate through a difficult time during his interim season?
Yeah, he did the best job anyone could do in that situation. I'm rooting for him. He's at UMBC.
Yeah.
It's so cool to see like all these people everywhere. I think that is like a testimony to what we had that year before. So it's really cool to see. But yeah, he's old school. He if you're not gonna play tough, then you're not gonna play for Jim Ferry. So he wants to play fast, and he's fun. Like he's a fun guy to be around. New Yorker. I don't know, just fun personality. We made, it was last year. We made the most out of last year with what we had. So happy for him, and go Retrievers.
Yeah.
Go Retrievers.
I forgot the UMBC.
I'm gonna have too many shirts by the end of my career.
Yeah, so kind of after that season, he did a great job, but what was the push like in the locker room to get either him or Keith Ergo hired as the head man, like moving forward for the program?
Yeah, I'm Keith Ergo's #1 fan probably. His family is remarkable. The relationship he built with me and everyone else, like he's awesome. I hope the best for him. He's at Fordham now, and we fought for him, obviously. Like,
yeah.
We wanted him, but, I play basketball. I don't make budget decisions or anything. I just got to control what I can control. And, awesome dude. Hope he ends up leading a program one day.
Following that season, how was your experience in the transfer portal? Like, who was recruiting you, and what was most tempting?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. In high school, no one recruited me, probably like 5 or 6 teams. So to go in the transfer portal and have like emails, and some of them were crazy. Some of the text messages were like, hey, you can come here and have fun if you want. Let me know.
From a coach?
From a coach, yeah.
Jeez.
I'm not, yeah. And I was like, what is this place? Like, I felt like I was in a whole different
Is Jay
world.
right? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
It was a weird experience, but I also got to meet a lot of cool people through it. Obviously, my roommate for 4 years, Jamari, went to Ohio State, and he was recruiting me like he was a coach after he committed. So,
don't get us hot on the set.
No. Yeah, I'll fight. What, we got 10 people here? I'll go after all of them. I wanted them to win against Nova too. That's kind of ironic, but anyway, it was a weird experience. Something that people don't notice, I think. So the transfer portal, there was like 1,600 people in it last year. If the transfer portal existed like it did, I think my freshman year was the first year of the transfer portal, maybe second. But if it existed like it did today, I'm very convinced that I would not be playing college basketball just because of the volume in it. And why would they take me as a freshman who, I don't know, would have went to Delaware County Community College instead of someone who's played 3 years at high major, developed his body and skill. So, I don't know. Transfer portal, it was a good experience. I'm glad I got to meet everyone, but I don't know. I'm old school. I'm all for the people loving where they're at and growing the grass where they're at. So
love it. So yeah, I mean, I guess you said it was a weird experience. Was it? I think like Shrews talked about how we had kind of a Zoom call with a lot of you guys, the guys who were prospective returning players after that Big Ten tourney loss. Was that kind of the moment you were like sold, or was it just because you didn't like the transfer portal, you decided to stay with Penn State? Like, was it more of a Shrews selling you back, or you just wanted to stay at Penn State? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I can remember I did senior night that last year, and something inside of me told me that this wasn't going to be the last home game I played. Nice. So I think like I kind of figured it out. Obviously, I went in the transfer portal. I don't know what that means. Like, I think it was like a whole ordeal with everyone else leaving. But something inside me knew that I was going to stay here and try to be a part of something. I always, I want to bring my kids here. And I feel like staying this year, it's a lot easier. And I can have more to share with them because I stayed this year.
on that Shrews call or on that Zoom call with Shrews, do you remember like what the big things were that he said?
Yeah, the funniest thing he said, and this is a good story to describe his personality. He's like I'm with Purdue, whatever. He gave us a rundown, and he's like, I can't say that like I love you guys and I want you all to be here, because I don't even know you guys. Like that's what he said to us, and he's keeping it real.
Yeah,
he's
honestly,
like, I've seen all you play, and if you want to stay here, you got a spot. But I'm not gonna say I love you. Like I don't know you. I want to like build that relationship with you. A cool moment after our last game against Purdue, he was like, I love you now. I didn't say it at the start, but I love you now, big fella. So it's a cool moment, but yeah, he kind of introduced himself, and if you want to stay here, you can stay here. But it was a weird situation.
Yeah, it's definitely awkward. Yeah. I mean, you gotta respect it for keeping it real, I guess. I think it'd be weirder if he was like, I love all you guys already. Like, bro, what? That would be weird.
Yeah, so at that point when you made your decision to stay, how hard was it seeing like guys like Jamari, who was your roommate, and Isaiah Brockington and Myron Jones all kind of pack it up and head towards a different place? Was that surprising to you at all?
It wasn't. It wasn't as hard because they all landed at great spots. Isaiah's in the Sweet 16. Yeah. Jamari was a 7 seed. MJ was close making the tournament. He made the NIT. Trent did what he wanted to do at UMass. He played and got the shots he wanted. So just watching that, I think that was a success for where they went and for what they wanted to do. So obviously I wish they were all here. I think about if we all were here, what would have happened. Obviously you can't tell that story, but yeah, I was happy for them. I think they all got a good spot.
So kind of, I guess obviously you had the Zoom call with Shrews, and then he eventually gets there and you start practicing and everything. I guess what was it like at first playing with Shrews? How was he similar to Chambers and Ferry and that coaching staff, or how was he similar? How was he different? What?
Yeah,
kind of
my first workout, I can remember coming back. He made me do like all this between the legs, behind the back dribbling drills, and I've done some ball handling maybe once or twice, but for him to just put a ball in my hands and tell me to dribble through these cones and work on like Euro step finishes, very different. But I had my end of the year meeting with him on Monday, and I said that's probably that was the best thing for me, just to develop skills that you don't think you need until you need them. I think everyone, when Shrews is done here, is going to talk about his skill development, and I think the freshmen he's going to bring in, you guys are going to see them, and then in 4 years, you're going to see a completely different new player. So I think it's going to be the skill development. And then I learned a lot about the game. Like, I'm watching whoever played the Miami Heat, and I'm like, we run that. And then I'm seeing, like, their concepts and how they set their screens, and I'm like, I did that. Like, so just stuff like that, it's cool to see. I learned a lot about the game through Shrews.
Can you kind of describe the impact of what it was like to keep playing with Sam Sessoms, Miles Dredd, and Seth Lundy as they also stayed, just like you?
Yeah, it was cool. Especially Seth. I can remember Seth and I kind of made our decision together. We were trying to figure it out. I'm also a huge Seth Lundy fan. Like, I want that kid to succeed. I want him to go to the NBA. I want him to play at the highest level. But yeah, it was special. We were close this year. Like, I think we almost had it. Story of Penn State basketball, as our fans know. But we were close, and it was special. It was fun. Had a good year. Had fun with them, and excited for all their futures as well.
Yeah, like you were saying, you guys were close, but you had that win over Iowa, the double overtime one, the Michigan State win. So there were a lot of high points. But how does it feel to be labeled as a culture driver for the future? Like Shrewsberry always said this season, how you were kind of setting the tone for what he sees the future of Penn State basketball to be like.
Yeah, for sure. I give all that credit to Coach Chambers. Like, I just bought into what he wanted to do and then just try to carry on his legacy. throughout Penn State basketball. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of weird as well. I don't know what I mean, you guys are a media outlet, but I don't know what the media outlets did to me. But I'll like walk downtown and get stopped, and I'm like, dude, hi, how are you? Like, I'm like, they're like, thank you. I'm like, for what? What are you thanking me for? But it's been cool. It's been fun experience. And yeah, I see it through Dalian Johnson. I see him like trying to put in the extra work, doing all the things. I say Dalian Johnson is like not me, but like he wants to develop himself. He wants to get better, but he actually has the skill to be like one of those elite players in the Big Ten. Like he could have one of those like Johnny Davis like transitions where he goes from coming off the bench or playing these limited minutes to just killing the Big Ten. So excited to see that.
One thing I wanted to touch on just before kind of moving on to other stuff, like for this year specifically, obviously a ton of transfers came in. Jalen, I think Jalen Pickett was one of the main guys that stands out as, getting a ton of playing time starting at guard and being a huge scorer for you guys. What about the other guys? Even Greg Lee, obviously he had issues with injuries and stuff, but how do you feel like they kind of were able to gel in with a program that was kind of like resetting a little bit, even though it had like guys like you and Seth who were like solid and had been there for a while? But how did that process kind of go?
We all kind of had to figure it out, right? Because we all never played with Coach Shrew, so I was learning the same thing at the same time Greg Lee was learning. So it was a cool experience to get to know everyone through that outlet and get to see how we can come together. Greg Lee has 4 years of different habits and different concepts than I have, but we all brought it together this year. I love Greg Lee too. He's a fighter. I feel awful for what happened. No one deserves it. I remember looking at him at the Big Ten tournament, and we were talking before, and I was trying to remember how many games he played, and he's like, I only played like 12 or like 11 games, and I can't imagine that. Last year, college basketball, I feel awful for him. But, yeah, program's in good hands with Jalen Pickett, for sure. Jalen's a winner. He wants to win. I think he plays every minute of every game, which is it's kind of hard to do that, but how talented he is with the ball. And one thing no one gives Jalen for is his defense. Jalen is one of the smartest on- and off-ball defenders in the league. How he can guard different types of people and different. I think he guarded the post against Ohio State once and like that. Like he just smart player, and everyone else, Jelani, all those dudes. It was really cool, really fun to play with all of them.
Yeah. So when it was all said and done, you had a lot of career highlights at Penn State. You were the 6th player ever with 800 points and 800 rebounds.
That's cheating though. I got 5 years here.
I don't think that's cheating though. You still did it.
I got 5 years here.
You were the 2nd Penn State player in the last 22 years to average a double-double in points and rebounds, and then you also lead Penn State in games played. So with all those things in mind, what are you the most proud of, or if anything?
Yeah. I want to say, I don't know. My brother and I, we always set goals before the season. And this year, I had a goal of, obviously I had the team goals, but I did have the goal of coming in here and trying to average a double-double this year. So I think achieving that, and there was times where, I can remember at Iowa, scored 0 points and had like maybe 3 rebounds. Like there's times where those goals seem like they're in outer space. Like it's hard. But just kind of sticking with it, that gives you the confidence that, I don't know, I could go somewhere else and set goals and go achieve them. So I'd say that's what I'm most proud of. But overall, I would say the NIT, like as a team, I've always been team oriented. So that NIT run and that being top 10 in the country, that was kind of crazy.
That was unreal.
Fun,
yeah. So with all that, obviously fans dubbed you as the King of Delco in your 5 years here. Do you like that nickname, or do do you kind of think it's a little far-fetched? And
It's far-fetched. I mean, I love Delco, so it is what it is. I know you guys said, who was it that coined it, or?
Mitch Stewart.
Mitch-
One of our founders.
Yeah.
Mitch Stewart.
He
Shout out
He
Mitch
allegedly
Stewart.
He tweeted it. He tweeted it early
tweeted
on.
it.
Say it again. He'll like that.
Shout out Mitch Stewart. I also have to shout out PJ Mullen. He was the old marketing guy for us at Rutgers now, but I think he was the one who did something. I don't know. Him and Mitch must have collaborated, but it's ridiculous to say the least. Yeah, it's very ridiculous. It's all fun though. I don't know. You can call me whatever. You can call me an a-hole if you want.
Do any of your friends like back home like give
Oh,
you shit
yeah,
for it?
yeah,
Like,
it's
yeah,
awful.
yeah. Let's stop.
It's
Sorry.
awful, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's awful. It's fun. It is.
We'll just go with John going forward. That's our
Alright.
bad.
Whatever you want.
So, aside from basketball, you've obviously given a lot back to Penn State. Can you talk a little bit about your relationship with your Four Diamonds child, Declan?
Yeah, that was awesome. I think I saw Nick Scott, who's another Penn State great, and he was really involved in Thon. And I saw him like have custom Thon shoes. And I just got the idea. My old manager Nick was a Thon kid, Four Diamonds, and kind of just reached out to him to help me like design a shoe with a kid who's been Four Diamonds and actually get to know him. Right, like I've been to Thon and I've walked around. We're usually on the road, so I had like 1 or 2 hours. But actually getting to know someone and like their story and hearing what this kid loves squirrels. Like Declan loves squirrels. I don't know why. I'm sure as a kid I loved something like that, but he loves squirrels. Like you can talk to him. What's that one show or movie Up, where it's like squirrel? Like, he probably does that in class. But it's been cool. It's been an awesome experience. I want to go see him. He's kind of on the way from here to my brother's house, so I'm going to try to go stop by. I told him we played one-on-one, so got to go do it. It was a really cool experience, so I'm glad I got to meet him and his family.
I feel like there's been a lot of moments like that with Penn State basketball. Like, I think in the fall, like this young girl, like she tweeted that she was a huge Seth Lundy fan, and Seth went and met her at the tailgate fields, and like Lamar or that children's book, like stuff like that is very cool.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, man.
That's what it's all about.
So this is kind of a random one, but we asked DJ Newbill this. He said Kevin Durant, which is a quick flex, I guess. But who's the best player you've played against in your career?
Wow.
Put you on the spot a little bit. But.
Not Kevin Durant.
He played him at like a camp, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of AAU because that would have been the best competition. I mean,
we can limit it to
honestly,
Big Ten for you.
Yeah. Jay and do you guys remember Harry Giles?
Yeah, from Duke. Yeah.
So I played him when he was like the #1 player in his class. Ridiculous. I had to guard him too because I was like the tallest dude on my AAU team. We low budget AAU team went out to Vegas to play like these teams like in that tournament. Absolutely murdered. It was awesome. We got killed, but yeah, I would say he's probably the best player.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. So now that your Penn State career is finally wrapped up, what's next for you? Do you plan on trying to go play professional somewhere, or do you want to go into the business world or something like that?
Yeah. So I'm getting a MOL here, Masters of Organizational Leadership through SMEAL.
Hey,
Let's go. We got one?
Nope.
All right. I thought I had another molar. Yeah, big Masters guy.
I'm a fake major.
Okay.
Major.
All right.
Hey,
Business is fake
a lot
too.
of cop majors in here.
It's all fake.
Yeah.
It's all fake. But I'm getting that. So if nothing works out, I want to go play overseas though. Hopefully, sign an agent. It's kind of weird that I was in the transfer portal last year and I was talking to college coaches, and now after the season I'm kind of talking to agents, and it feels like the same process all over again, trying to figure it all out. But yeah, if you told me, I guess 4 years ago that I'd be playing after I would not believe you. Just like if you told me the King of Delco, I would not believe that. But yeah, hopefully it all works out, and I want to have a long career and then try to go coach. End up coaching for Coach Shrews, Coach Chambers, all the people I mentioned. So hopefully it all works out.
Go down to FGCU. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
I don't even know where it is in
Fort
Florida.
Myers.
Oh, that place. Watching
that's
Yankees
crazy.
games.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
go to spring training.
Yeah.
That's sick. So yeah, kind of just touching on what you said, like trying to play professionally and stuff. How much have you been able to kind of keep in touch with guys like Lamar, guys like Mike Watkins? I think Mike, he tried to play in Colombia at one point.
Yeah, he's been in Israel, Colombia. He hurt his knee, so he's kind of in remission right now. I actually reached out to Lamar for the whole transfer portal, trying to have him navigate it. Excuse me. I talked to Josh Reeves a little bit.
Yep.
I forget. I know he played for the Bolivia national team, and he's somewhere overseas right now. But yeah, I mean, those are resources. Taylor Battle.
Yep.
I'm trying to figure it out, trying to get as much advice as I can, and then check in on them. Curtis Jones. He's overseas right now, so no.
What did Lamar have to say about the transfer portal?
Yeah, he was kind of just saying, like, you know it. Your gut knows what you want. Like, go with your gut. Like, in any decision, we've all made, like, big decisions. We all decided to come here to Penn State. Like, there was something, it wasn't like a X and a O or whatever. It was your gut feeling that you're like, I'm going to go to Penn State, unless you had no other option. But that's what he was saying. Just go with your gut. You kind of know it already, so you make your decisions.
There you go.
One more quick thing about Mike Watkins. I saw for your senior day against Northwestern, you came in wearing his number 24 jersey coming into the tunnel. What was kind of the story behind that, and what prompted you to do that?
I had to go get some rebounds that game, so I had to throw on the big Mike Watkins jersey. No, I don't know. I love Mike. He was kind of my, like, mentor. I had to play behind him for a couple of years, so make a tribute. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Next generation. Yeah.
Clothes, so.
It was so cool, I thought.
Yeah, I could have worn a Hanes white tee, but threw on the Mike Watkins jersey.
Hey, if it's good enough for MJ.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Before our last couple of questions, we've been having our guests choose the intro and outro songs. So do you have a song in mind? Not to put you on the spot, but...
Okay. First song, Outskirts of Heaven. I got to get the artist, but I've been playing it. It's not as popular. Second song,
Craig Campbell. Outskirts of Heaven.
I don't know. I might have to look it up. Second, what am I going with? Some Rod Wave. Hard on Ice, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Switch it. I get some country. Give some Rod Wave.
Diverse.
Love it.
So we ask every guest this at the end of the interview. We finish up on asking, what is one piece of advice you would give to college students in their time at Penn State?
Wow. I don't know. This is a tough one. I would say kind of what Chambers told me. The quality of your habits are going to determine the quality of your life, but also have some fun habits, right? It's college. I've had a lot of fun here, all responsible, but a lot of fun. And the memories that I always go back to are the ones that, yeah, it's fun to, I don't know, go to champs or go. Penn State has such an awesome party scene. But the memories that I have all came through my disciplines, right? Like the NIT run, that was through building those habits. So, I don't know, just do the right thing, have fun, and then just go after what you want to do. Do everything you can, have the right disciplines and habits, and you'll get whatever you want.
Love it. And then one last thing, we talked about it before we started recording. How was it doing the I think it was the Midnight Domino podcast with Myron? How was that? Was that like? And are you guys still doing it or? Yeah,
we're on a break right now. MJ, shout out MJ, probably the worst co-host ever. Shout out MJ. He's done his season now though, so gonna have to have a
Oh,
business
yeah,
call.
true. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of fun, right? So you guys ask me every question this whole podcast. So having a podcast, I had to ask other people questions, and I don't know. I would usually ask a question with my response if I were to be on a podcast, kind of more conversational,
Uh-huh.
you know. Didn't this time. Sorry, guys. I know you guys have a lot to share, but it definitely it's a different interview, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm asking whoever questions, trying to learn more about them, and it's usually in my field, right? They're all basketball players, so I was just trying to learn from them. But it's fun.
That is fun.
Gonna try to continue it. Maybe change the name. Maybe I don't know. Get some merch.
There you go. And what kind of people have you had? Have you had like a favorite guest? I think I saw Pat went on.
Yeah, Coach Chambers. Favorite guest. We like doing Daniel. I'm gonna butcher his last name. Kasakin. He was we call him DK. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love that guy.
He was here for a year. Now he's playing over in Russia. But I didn't talk to him in like 2 years, and then he completely changed his whole personality. So that was cool to see.
Funny.
Yeah, we got to get more people. Let's get you guys on.
Yeah. All of us?
That'd be awesome.
We're a pretty interesting crew.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Seriously.
I can interview you guys.
Love it. Perfect. So yeah, real quick, do you want to plug it? Where can the people listen to it?
It's the Midnight Domino Show. It's pretty bad though, but you can go for it. You can go for it.
It's on Spotify, right?
Spotify,
and
yeah.
wherever you listen to your podcasts. All right.
Cool. So that's all we have. But thank you so much for taking the time to do this. It was awesome. And as far as Penn State athletes go, that kind of just embody what Penn State is. You're one of my favorite ones. So
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for all you've done here.
Yep, appreciate it.
Thanks very much for coming on, man. That was fun.
Cool. Thanks.
All right.
Cool.
All right. That was our conversation with John Harrar. What did you guys think? It was pretty awesome, I thought.
Yeah. I fangirled the whole time. That was so fun.
Yeah, it was definitely a good time. He's definitely one of my favorite Penn Staters. He's just such an awesome dude. All right, jumping into some sports. We had a big national championship run for wrestling this weekend. Mara, you guys were there. How was it?
Oh, yeah. It was fantastic. We got to be on the mat and celebrate with them as they got their trophy, and it was just it was crazy being there.
That's so cool. Yeah, so Penn State went 5 for 5 in the individuals, but Mara, how did they get there? It seemed like they all had some pretty good matches. Some were close, some were blowouts. So can you recap that?
Yeah, so they had 8 wrestlers originally qualify, but Drew Hildebrandt, Bo Bartlett, and Brady Berge all dropped into the consolation bracket pretty early on Thursday, I believe. And then Greg Kirkley got 4th due to a medical forfeit on Friday. But we did have 5 champions. So Roman Bravo Young beat Dayton Fix from Oklahoma State, which was a rematch from last year in the championship. And that was Fix's only loss up until this point. So his only losses the past 2 seasons have come from RBY, which I thought was crazy. And then Max Dean, it was his first tournament, first time in the NCAA tournament since 2019, and his first time being a champion. He beat Jacob Warner from Iowa. And then Carter Starachi had his 2nd consecutive championship, and he beat Makai Lewis from Virginia Tech. It was a little scary there in the beginning. They were tied up, and then they were tied up 4-4 going into 2 overtimes, and then Starachi ended up walking away due to a riding time tiebreaker. So, and it was only by 15 seconds, so that was definitely nerve-wracking. Yeah. And then Aaron Brooks beat Miles Amin. It was a rematch of the Big Ten Championship from a couple of weeks ago where Brooks lost, and he ended up absolutely dominating Amin. So that was really cool to watch. And then finally, Nick Lee. He had a tough semifinal bout against Real Woods from Stanford, but then he pulled through with a 3-2 win there to send himself to the championship, and he ended up wrestling against Keizon Clark from UNC, who he had a crazy tournament run. He was the 15 seed, and but he ended up winning by major decision, 10-2. And the team overall won the team title with 131.5 points, which they ended up blowing everybody else out of the water there, too. Almost 40 points more than second place Michigan, who had 95.
That's insane. Yeah, and that marks Kale's 9th national title in 13 years. That's just insane for a head coach to do that. That's also Penn State's 9th national title in 11 years. So definitely a dynasty. I don't know if there's a better dynasty in sports.
They're also 10-0. Sorry, they're 10-0 in championship bouts since 2019, which is crazy. Since Bo won the 191 pound, they haven't lost in a championship bout.
So Penn State is 10-0 in championship bouts since 2019. That's super impressive. Seems like they always turn it up when it matters. So transitioning from that, spring football is here officially. Team had their first day of official practice on Monday, and James Franklin met with the media on Monday, and he kind of discussed an open quarterback battle with Drew Aller, Sean Clifford, and Bo Pabula. Seems like he always does that. He did that with Trace and Tommy a few years back, but it seems like it's Sean's job to lose. Do you guys have anything to say about spring football so far?
We want Drew. That's all I have to say.
I agree with that. Don't think it's going to happen, but it'll be exciting to see him play in the blue-white game in April. And then also some news, not really football, but with the athletic department as a whole. Sandy Barber announced her retirement, and she will be hanging it up in the summer. So good 8 years from her. Not much about that. COVID kind of ruined her master plan of facilities. So I don't know. Sandy, it was a good run.
Thanks, Sandy. Bye. Yep. So baseball's series against Niagara was canceled due to snow on March 15th and 16th. However, they had their first home series of the season over the past weekend against Milwaukee. Went 2-1. They won on Friday 6-4, and on Saturday they won 4-3. Unfortunately, they lost on Sunday, a big 12-0 loss. Ooh. However, they have a 3-game weekend series against Rutgers at home starting on Friday, so that should be exciting to see some spring baseball in Happy Valley.
Yeah, for sure. So that's at Medler Field at Lebrano Park. A little plug to Lebrano. But yeah, it's exciting. Baseball's rolling around. The weather's nice. Not much else to do. Head on over to Medler Field. Then we got softball for the women. Mara, you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, so softball's doing really well this season. They're currently 16-11 and on a 6-game win streak. They just had their home opener tournament, the Penn State Softball Invitational, where they went 5-0. They also had 2 extra inning wins. The first one was against Cornell, 3-2, with a single to left field by Maggie Finnegan and another walk-off win from Lexi Black. They won 2-1 in the 8th inning against Ryder. They went undefeated in that tournament, and then Bailey Parshall, as a result of that, was named the Co-Big Ten Pitcher of the Week. She pitched 21 innings and had 27 strikeouts, and she currently has a 1.44 ERA through 97 innings pitched. They'll have their first Big Ten series this weekend against Maryland.
Yeah, that's awesome. 16-11, that's more than matches their win total last year through less games, so super cool there.
Yeah, it's doubled already. So
wow, that's super impressive. And then transitioning back to the men's side of things, men's lacrosse, they haven't played in a week, but their next game is against number 1 Maryland on Sunday. Keeley, can you tell us how they fared the last time out?
Yep, they played Bucknell and lost a close game 12-11. Senior Jack Kelly scored 3 goals and had 3 assists, so big night for him. Unfortunate loss. They're 2-6 on the season, midway through the season, so hopefully they can pick it up in the latter half. They have some big games ahead of them, but it should be exciting to watch that.
Yeah, anytime you play a number 1 team, it's pretty cool. Should be a whiteout at Panzer, so that'll be fun. For the women, they're still playing, hanging in there. Mara, you want to tell us about the women's lacrosse team?
So Missy Doherty's team dropped a tight game to Princeton, 12-11 on Saturday, but there was 4 goals from Kristen O'Neill, 3 goals from Megan Murray, and they currently have a 5-3 record on the season.
Cool. Not bad for them. Seems like they're playing well. Missy Doherty's good coach, been here for a long time, so all 3 of their losses are against ranked teams, so they played some pretty good competition so far. All right, well, that's all we have from sports. Thank you to Mara and Keeley for that.
Thanks, Connor.
Yeah, thanks, Connor.
Thanks, guys.
First time was 2 girls in the sports section.
Woohoo!
Dominant.
Girls Club.
That was our sports recap. Appreciate Connor, Keeley, and Mara chatting about awesome things going on in the sports world, especially wrestling winning the national championship and saying goodbye to our dear friend Sandy Barber. Before we close out the show, we would like to wish a sincere happy birthday to our good friend Ryan Smith, friend of the show.
Pod's
and
biggest fan. We would
So,
be nowhere without him.
We actually, I don't think, would be anywhere without him.
Yeah.
So,
It's true.
to just reiterate what Grace said. So, we're now going to switch to camera number 2, where we have Tyler Childers is in the studio. Tyler, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. We got Jordy Mansberger on the mic, and then we have his choir. What's your band called? Your choir? Jordy Mansberger and
JFC and the I don't know. What do you want to be?
The Jordanettes.
Oh,
Yeah.
JFC and the Jordanettes. So we're going to sing a little happy birthday to our friend.
Happy birthday to Ryan Smith. Happy birthday to Ryan Smith. Happy birthday to Ryan Smith. Happy birthday to you.
Yay!
And that was our performance from JFC and the Jordanettes. Appreciate you guys coming on. JFC and the Bull. Like the Bulls?
Not like bull.
The Bull, like
You're my bull.
B-U-H-L. Like I call you sometimes.
JFC and the Bulls with the UHL.
Wow.
Anyways, shout out to Ryan Smith. If you're watching this, we hope that
He definitely is.
He
Hi,
definitely
Ryan.
is. Anyways, happy birthday to our friend of the show, Ryan Smith. Thanks to John Harrar for coming on. And yeah.
Keelsters hosted her first
Keeley hosted
episode?
her first guest. Woo!
Yay! No, Connor did it before.
Connor's done it before. But yeah, shout out to the crew.
Woo! Missing Tegan and Charlie.
Quick shout out to the crew. We have editor Hailey Stutzman right here. Boop. And we got our sound technician Jordan Mansberger. Joined today by the Bulls, the Jordanettes. We have Shannon Smith, who's a little camera shy as always, Sister Shannon. We have Miss Mara McKeon, no relation to Jackie, relation to Mara. Mara, do you have any siblings?
Yeah.
What are their names?
Oh, that's a nice
Relation to Mallory McKeon.
Shout out Mallory.
Shout out Mallory. Whoop. We have the Keelster, Keeley Lamm.
It's Keelsters.
The Keelsters, the plural. There's actually plural of her. She got her first thing today. We have Connor Krause checking in. What's up, Connor Krause? And we have back from Detroit as well, we have Mr. William Hutchinson, Pegler the third. Quick shout out to Jack Pegler. We're missing Charlie, and we're missing Tegan Staudenmeyer. Anyways, shout out to the crew in here. Big thank you to John Harrar, Max Benner for setting it up, Lynn Holleran, our new athletic director, and yeah, it's a great day to be in State College.
Yeah. I don't have anything to say today.
From the Willard 210th room in the
The
Willard
210th floor.
The 210th floor in the
There's
Willard.
a skyscraper.
So in, if you guys didn't know, Mara and Will stayed on the 210th floor in Detroit. The pictures were, that's ridiculous. Oh, and Aaron Sullivan, friend of the show.
Shout out Aaron.
We should have had her come on. You guys could have talked about your experience.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Aaron. Yeah, they were on the 69th floor, and all good things.
We could FaceTime Aaron, but I want to go home. Hi, Aaron. If
Hi,
you
Aaron.
watch this.
If you watch, Aaron,
Aaron,
if you watch this, text us and say
toast.
Toast. We love toast.
I love toast. What do you like on your toast?
Butter.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I don't really eat toast that
I don't
much.
either.
But I would eat butter. Actually, no. I like avocado on my toast.
Ooh. I went through
Avocado
a stage
toast.
where I just ate dry toast.
That why? Toasty bread.
It was like I was like doing like this, trying to not have butter or like.
Oh wait, you said eat less dairy and be nice. That was your New Year's resolution.
I've done one of those things.
What was it?
I don't know. This is another episode of Podward State.
I'm Grace Cunningham.
I'm Sam. I'm Sam Brungo. Take it easy, guys. Appreciate you. Be safe.
See ya. Happy birthday, Ryan.
Oh, happy birthday, Ryan.
Yeah.
Did we say that?
No, we
No.
forgot.
Guys, should we sing to
Come
him?
back.
Guys, come back. Guys, come
That's-
back. Jordan.
Wait, that's a great idea.
Nets.
Wait, we should sing to him.
Do you want to me and you?
No.
Happy
birthday, Ryan.
birthday.
RE1, RE2.
Should I sing it like I would have sang
No,
when
we have
I
to be
was
done
a
now.
child? Happy birthday.
We already said bye.
Happy birthday.
It's over.
Okay.